Now I'm going to give you the summary for all things about the pod, the taco, and the Forrest that I've got. So I will start with the inconvenience, the cost. So the pod, only the ledge, just for one person, 950 American dollars. That's what is the list price. The taco here, list price is 300, but you have to add a pad, and the pad can cost you anywhere from 100 and something and more, maybe 230, maybe the X-Lite Max by Thermarest would be rectangular, so, and the same thickness as the Topo as I use here, and the Topo is around maybe 150 US dollars. So the total is $450 to $530 for the kit. And so it's about half compared to the G7 pod. And you'll see they are different beasts. And one could argue that anyway, you want a pad to go camping. So it's a no-brainer, you'll have that, even if you get the G7 pod. So the taco is just an add-on, and it's just $300 flat. And that's what, so super cheap. The Forrest is not available anymore. The equivalent apparently is the Mountain Tools Womb with a View, and it costs only 145 US dollars. Now, I've not had first-hand experience with it, and as you'll see, for different uses, it's not as good as those two here. But your call, really, if you want the Forrest or the Womb with a View. So, spreader bar, I start with that. It's ridiculous because you would never need, in my opinion, a spreader bar with a rigid ledge. You already have like the full square of the ledge that's rigid. So it's good enough that way. But the width of these ledges and the pod, same as the taco and same as the Forrest, is like you get squished a little bit inside them. If you want a fully suspended experience, like a free hanging wall or being sitting in the ledge to do many things. So having the spreader bar just make some space is always a little bit good. If you just want to sleep in the ledge, or if you want to go ultralight, don't bring the spreader bar. So I'd say like all three models, they benefit in the same kind of way using a spreader bar. Are they spreader bar ready? I would say that the pod and the Forrest, they are not really spreader bar ready, but the taco, because it has these daisy chains where you want the spreader bar, I call that daisy chain ready, and it's good. The spreader bar will stay where you usually want it to be. So now I'll go with the comfort sleeping. I'd say the pod is probably a 9 out of 10, and that's for a vertical wall. 9 out of 10. it's rigid, it feels good, it feels like you're on the ground, camping in the forest a little bit. It's so that's a pretty comfortable feeling. The taco is different. With my pad, the Topo Thermarest, it's more squishy, it's softer. So some people might say, well, it's not good, but actually comfort-wise, it's very reasonable. I like it. And I'd say it's maybe 8.5 out of 10. And there's actually some advantages. If you want to sleep on your back, you don't really need a pillow in the taco because already the head is a little bit lifted. Where in the G7 pod, I feel like it's on a flat surface. So yes, having a pillow would add to the comfort. Sleeping on the side, I feel like it's reasonable in the taco without a pillow, but I would be much more comfortable using a pillow. And obviously on the G7 pod, a pillow is kind of required for side sleepers. For belly sleepers, I believe that the G7 pod is the way to go. It will give you better comfort. And in the taco, I could stay on the belly for a little while, but didn't really like the comfort. In the Forrest, because it's not meant to include a rigid pad, but really if you have a Forrest, I mean, buy a rigid pad. The same I recommend for the taco. And I have 3 videos with in-depth reviews. So the pod, go see this video here. For the taco, go see this in-depth video right there. And for the Forrest, go see this in-depth video right there. And so that's for sleeping. For cooking, I mean, in the pod, you could say it's 9 out of 10, the comfort sitting. Just the area for cooking is 9 out of 10. But it could be as low as 4 out of 10. And because you usually want to be sitting while you are cooking. So, and I'd say it's 8 out of 10 in any way. Looking at it, cooking in the taco, and it's 4 out of 10 cooking in the Forrest because the comfort is not as good. The sitting position, I mean, the G7 pod is 100% made for sleeping, and the taco has a recliner chair position, so much better. So I'd say 5 out of 10 for the pod sitting and 9 out of 10 sitting in the taco. And I'd say in the Forrest it's 2 out of 10 because there's discomfort that comes really early on when you're sitting in that ledge. Now standing, I will give that to the G7 pod because it's more rigid overall. It's still squishy, so it's not as standing in a rigid ledge, but it's pretty darn good. And I'd say standing is 8 out of 10. With the pod, it's maybe 5 out of 10 in the taco and 5 out of 10 in the Forrest. Note that the standing position is probably not the one you're looking for the most in a soft ledge like this. The weight now, I'd say if you take into account the weight of the pad, they are all about the same weight. 1.7 kilos is the pod, 1.8 is the taco with the cheap pad, 1.9 is the Forrest with the cheap pad. Now if you buy the higher end Thermarest X-Lite Max and get the same size as the Topo that I used it with, you would get a slightly lighter weight with the taco at 1.5. Now, durability wise, I think the rigid ledge is the most durable, and if we look at it and compare things, I'd say the G7 pod, but totally out of the blue, I'd say maybe 8 out of 10, like super good. Click here if you want to see Ryan Jenks' destruction of a G7 pod. And because the taco needs a Thermarest pad, and we've all had some Thermarest deflate, I'd say it's probably durability 6 out of 10, and I'll give the same to the Forrest, 6 out of 10, because of the same reason. I've had some stitches blow up on the Forrest, and I did not have them on the taco, so maybe I should remove 1 point from the Forrest, but I'll leave it at that. Then the time putting it up, there's the pod is 5 minutes, and both the taco and the Forrest 3 minutes, so they are clear winner in that game, and that all comes up to the size of the blow bag. Look at the in-depth videos. So the pod, click here, the taco, click here, and the Forrest, click here. And the time down, so the pod 3 minutes 30, the taco 3 minutes, and the Forrest 2 minutes 30. And the small differences is basically how difficult I had to work in order to get the thing in the bag after deflating. The G7 pod fits really tight, a little bit difficult to fit. The taco is somewhat tight, you have to just fold it right. And the Forrest is more like you just bunch it up and it's good enough. So now there's different considerations. The taco was designed so that it was possible to use it as a tarp. The tarp can be used as a ground tarp or also as a tarp to protect from the elements, the rain and stuff.
Coming in from Camp 5 on the nose. It's like 95 degrees out right now and the sun is awful. Set up the taco like a tarp. And I got one tied to my shoe, but that was out of laziness. But otherwise, we are in the shade now. How is it, Carl?
That's nice, yeah. Very nice to get out of the sun here under the taco.
So yes, can be used. The G7 pod, not really usable as a tarp, and the Forrest, not usable as a tarp. If deflated, none of them are really good, and you will survive basically. I tried the taco, it was not comfortable, and the Forrest, I think, is made to be on a deflated mattress, so it was the most comfortable of them. And the G7 pod, I did not try deflated. I don't think it's much better than the taco. The Forrest is the clear winner. Then I thought about something, because the taco, if it rains and it fills up, it was looking like it would become a bath. So if you want to see me in the bath, click on that video and I will put the solution to make sure that your taco does not create a bath. It's only to put drainage holes in it, and there's a special way that you can retrofit some drainage holes, and I will show you that also in the same video when it's all there. So drain water. By design, I think the G7 pod drains the best. It doesn't have a drain hole in the middle, but I think that most of the water will escape some way out of the ledge. So 8 out of 10. The taco is by design 1 out of 10 now without drainage holes, but with the drainage holes, I think it's easily a 6 out of 10. The Forrest, it has some cutouts, so I believe that without, like by design, 2 out of 10, but can have some drainage holes similar to the taco method, and I would give it 6 out of 10 also. Now, protection from the rock, it is if you sleep somewhere where the rock is uneven and that it will be pushing on you in a weird way and make it uncomfortable potentially. I think more rigidity from the G7 pod can be good, so I'd say 7 out of 10, where the taco and the Forrest would be 6 out of 10, so not bad. Can it be used 2 sides? So is there a wall side and an air side that cannot be switched? So the pod can be used either sides. Reinforcement is on both sides, no problem. So 100% 2 sides. You can place your head to the right or your head to the left, no problem. The taco, if the wall is vertical, it works. You can put the air side on the rock and the rock side on air side, no problem. Steeper also, but if it's more slab in any way, the taco will probably have a dedicated air side, so only goes one side. The Forrest is also reversible, can go on one side and on the other. It's not adjustable for slabs. It's not meant like that. The best orientation of the wall for the Forrest is fully hanging. Now, are there pockets to put stuff in the pockets? G7 pod, yes. The other ones, no. You can have a small bag and put your things in, but can be convenient on my ledge. Can it be adjusted for leveling the ledge? So the pod, yes. You have to unclip and clip back with the proper adjustment. The taco, yes. You have a roller buckle that is really convenient for that. The Forrest is not adjustable to make the ledge level. Now, how does it behave on a slab? I have a video right there with more details. Click on the link. I found out that both the pod and the taco were working quite good. I thought that the taco was better at a 30-degree slab, so very shallow angle, than the pod. But then maybe the pod had a small edge on the taco at a 15-degree slab, so almost vertical. But I'm not sure, like they're pretty even, so they're okay, both of them. And the Forrest, well, I doubt it's so good. You'd have to find a way to adjust it. Wouldn't be fun at all because the air side is not adjustable. So I hope you liked this video. I mean, I had a ton of fun to test these ledges because the information was not out there and I really wanted to know, but I really want your inputs. Have you tried the G7 pod? Have you tried the taco? Have you tried Forrest, warm with a view? Please put your experience in the comments because I want to build a little bit more knowledge about people's experience on the ledges, and I'm sure that people watching this video will want to check the comments also and get others people reviews about these ledges. So please subscribe to my channel, push the like button, and go see my website blissclimbing.com to find online courses about top rope solo and lead rope solo. Thank you very much.